All right, welcome to Regents Review now. We are done with the course, as you guys know. Volume tests are all graded. There's still people that need to take it whenever they finish. I'll give them back. Should have 4 things right now that go in your binder. You have the 3 practice exams. Okay, please make sure you can always tell what exam you're in based on the month and the year at the top. Okay, so everyone should have a January 2024, August 2023, and a June 2023. Those will be the only ones I print out for you. If you want another exam, you print that out yourself. Okay, because there's free printing here at the high school. All right, so you need another exam, print that out yourself. The 4th packet that you picked up, this is the one we're going to stay in for the next 6 days, and the one I'm going to start in right now, just to give you guys a glimpse of how this review is going to go. All right. The other thing you may want in your binder is a formula sheet. I asked you to keep off your exam Friday, so if you didn't do that, it's still attached to your exam. You'll have to wait till we get it back, but make sure a formula sheet gets in there in case you need it. All right, so let's go over first. Let's take a look at this Regents Review packet that you got as you came in. This is 6 days. This is a 6-day review. And what this packet contains is frequently asked topics on the Regents exam. Myself, Ms. Linehan, the other honors geometry teacher, we looked at like the last 5 or 6 Regents exams, and we said, wait, these topics always come up year after year after year. So what we did is we made 6 days worth of topics on those. All right, so that's what we're going to focus on the first 6 days. After we're done with that, you guys can see right on the front page, we're going to have a Regents Review quiz. All right, we will have a Regents Review quiz, and that will be next Thursday, the 6th, June 6th. Thursday, June 6th. Okay? Yep. It will be graded for a grade, and it will only be multiple choice. All right, I'll tell you that right now. It will be 15 multiple choice questions, and that is it. No free response, show your work. The reason why it's only going to be multiple choice, all of you have high expectations, I hope, I'm sure, for this Regents exam, and so do I. I have high expectations for you. My goal is everyone should be getting above an 85, all right, which is mastering in here. All right, everyone should be getting above an 85, hopefully even better. The way you do that, though, is you got to crush the multiple choice. All right, the reason is the multiple choices are worth 2 points apiece. You get 5 wrong, that's 10 points off already. Okay, so you need to crush the multiple choice. So I want you to take at least a little snip. It's not all, there's 24 multiple choice on the actual exam. I'm only going to give you 15 next Thursday. But I want you to give a little taste of what it's going to feel like to do multiple choice and perform well or not perform well. I will give you this, though. To help you out, it'll only come from this packet. The topics on next week's quiz will only come from this packet. Right? If it's not in this packet, I won't quiz you on it. Is this packet everything, though? Absolutely not. No way is this packet everything. There's a heck of a lot more topics that will be on the Regents exam other than what's in this packet. Okay? All right, next, let's go to the next page. All right, let's talk about what's on the next page. And this will be here, you guys will have this packet up until the exam. All the test details are right there on this page. We're taking it on Friday morning, 8 a.m. I don't know where we'll take it yet. Probably in the cafeteria or the gym, I assume. And I'll just give you guys a little heads up. I don't know if you know what your other exams, when they are, or what they look like, but I emailed everybody yesterday afternoon a copy of the high school exam schedule. Here's how this is going to go, and this scares me. I don't know if it scares you. It scares me. We end classes on Thursday the 13th. Okay, Thursday the 13th. That's the last time we meet as a full group. After that starts the Regents exams. I will not see you if you don't come to any review sessions for a full week, because our exam is not until Friday, Monday morning. All right, freshmen, that's your last exam. Is our exam. Okay, our sophomores in here, unfortunately, you got a big day. You got English right after our exam, so that's a busy day for you. All right. Also, what hurts is, hey, we have it in the morning. I'm not going to be here to review in the morning before 8 a.m. Absolutely not. I got things to do. So why not review the night before, right? The night before. Oh, well, you have global in the afternoon. okay, on Thursday afternoon. So I'm thinking about maybe doing a late night session, like a dinner review session here. We'll see what comes up, but we're not in a great spot as far as when they scheduled the Regents exam. So that's what it looks like as far as your schedule goes. We end class on a Thursday, and the darn test is until Friday, the following Friday. So we'll see. It is what it is, though. Okay, we'll find a way around it. Going back to that page, you guys can see the makeup. The test is in 4 parts. I'm not going to harp on this. The part one's all the multiple choice. There's 24 of them. That's where you got to crush it if you want to do well. One, I call this one the big dog, the part 4. You guys can see there's only one question and it's 6 points. Probably going to be approved. Okay, probably going to be approved. I have no idea what kind. Please don't ask me either while we're reviewing. Do you think this will be on it? Do I need to? I don't know what's on the exam. I do not get an advanced look. I know what's on the exam when you guys come in. That's when I get my first look at what's on this exam. Okay, it's not like the midterm where we made it up. I don't know what's on the exam until you guys take it, but usually that part 4 question is approved at the end. One construction, 2 amongst parts 2 and 3. There'll be one construction. What it is, I have no idea. Again, we'll have to be prepared for everything. And then you guys can see same materials as the midterm. Everything needs to be done in pen except for constructions and graphs, and then those pens have to be blue or black. I'll obviously bring your calculators like I did for the midterm. Same thing goes as the midterm. If you guys need to borrow something, payment is attending a review session. Okay, I'm not going to bring the compasses and you never attended a review session and you're asking me for stuff. That's not going to fly. All right, so if you need to borrow something, payment is a review session. And again, reminder, this packet doesn't have everything. It's just the most commonly tested topics, not everything. Anything about the test? Yes, Steve?
How many constructions are usually on?
One.
One.
Yep. Now, could you see one in the multiple choice that's like, hey, what did I do here? Sometimes, but for you to actually pick up a compass and a straight edge and to do your own construction, there will be one. Yep. What it is, no idea. No idea. Yep.
Could a proof only be in part?
No, I have seen the last couple tests. I have seen a part 3 question. Remember those coordinate proofs where you graph it, prove it's this using distance, midpoint, slope. And then part 4 is like a statements reasons. So I would at least 2. Yep. Yep, Matt.
Like the first day we learned like the cube stuff.
Yep.
Is that on Regents?
Expect anything. That's my answer to that question every time. Expect anything. Have I seen it? No. But that doesn't mean June 2024, though, they won't throw it on. Okay. Have I seen it? Nope. Nets, that stuff you're asking about? No. I haven't, but doesn't mean anything's fair game. I don't want to tell you no, and then all of a sudden it pops up. Okay. We're preparing for everything. Everyone go with the test format? All right. So you'll see what we're going to do today, day 1. It's got 3 topics I'm going to go over. But if you look at the last page of today's notes, you will see, and this is how every day ends. I just want to make sure you're aware. Homework, and that homework comes from those 3 exams that you got. Okay, you don't have to print out a new one. All right, that homework comes from all 3 exams. Remember, I'm not checking. Okay, I'm not checking. You guys have a goal. You want to get to that goal, you got to put in enough work to get to that goal of whatever that grade's going to be. Whatever you have this year as far as grades mean nothing on the Regents. I hate to be Mr. down in the dumps here and negativity, but the Regents doesn't care that you got a 95 quarters 1 through 4. It doesn't. Okay, I have seen doing this a lot of years. Many students are like, high 90s and then they get low 80s on it. Where did that come from? They didn't prepare as well as they should have. Okay, they didn't prepare. I really think this could be a record-breaking year between both of my classes. My record is 500 100s. I think it could be tied or broken this year, possibly, but the work's got to be put in. Right? It's not an easy test either. It's not an easy test. So anytime there's a homework assignment, it always comes from those 3 exams. And then, hey, I'm still not good at partitions, even though what you assign for homework, there's optional practice over here from different exams to look at. All right. Now, where do I get the answers? That's what I really want to talk about. Where do I get the answers? Because you guys know, when you're doing a regular homework assignment, you hop on Classroom, you know where to go to get the answers. So where do I go to get the answers to all these? That's up on Classroom. I'm not going to spend too much time up on Classroom because you guys are more than technological savvy enough to know where everything is. previous Regents exams. Okay, if you go to classwork right now, everyone go here with me so we know where to go. Go to classwork, not on the stream, go to classwork. I put it right at the darn top so you don't have to scroll down. Regents review, everything you need to know from now until the next 3 weeks is right here. Previous Regents exams, that's probably where you're going to be the most. All right, previous Regents exams. If you open up that folder, what I have in there is every single Regents exam that's been given. Not ever, but since they've had this version of the Regents exam. So if you scroll down, you'll see every single version of the Regents exam. You find the one you're working on. Find the one you're working on, open it up, and you'll see 3 different things. You'll see a blank one, because those are the only 3 I'm printing out for you. You got to print another one out. This is how you print it out. Print out a blank one. Answer key with work. If that's not good enough, because I get it. Sometimes you look at a problem, you see a random guy or woman's work, and you're like, I still don't understand where they got the answer. I provided also video solutions now. All right, a link to go to where number 23, 24 is, whatever you need. So if the written work isn't good enough for you, maybe go to the video solutions and try that. I have that for every single exam offered. Good? Last thing there, under previous Regents exams, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, I have this little cold hard fact sheet. That's like your reference sheet on steroids. All right, that's I think it's like 10 or 11 pages put together of all the facts we talked about during the year. Because let's face it, most of the time you study, I'm not going to be there to answer any questions. I'm not going to be there. So I remember this circle fact. Was it minus the 2 arcs or adding the 2 arcs? It's in here. Okay, it's in here, guys. It's in here along with everything else we've gone through this year. So if you're looking for a certain fact, odds are pretty strong it's in that cold hard fact sheet. Okay, pretty strong. All right, and then some just a couple other things that are on that Regents review. I'm not going to open them. There's your packet you just got in case you lost it. Formulas that are not on the reference sheet. Okay, that contains formulas not on the reference sheet. All right. Who just asked about constructions? If there would be a construction, Zeev, you asked it, right? I know this might be not the best thing for me to say and might not go over well with you guys. I am not going to review constructions in here. Nope. It takes way too long. We could be focused on other things. And probably I'm doing it for like 2 or 3 people. I got to wait for everybody to finish. If I messed up on this arc, I got to wait for somebody. And it's not that bad of a thing, but it just wastes too much time. If you want to come in after school or during a review session and do a construction with me, I'm more than happy to do that. Plus, open up the construction help I've been promoting all year long for me. Go to the YouTube page if you can. We enhanced this website, Mrs. Linehan and I. We enhanced her YouTube page here. Instead of you guys searching through all these here to find which one you want, and some of them aren't even on the Regents exam. Some of them are like honors level that we do with you guys during the year. Some won't even be on there. So what we did is if you tap on playlist at the top, you'll see Regents constructions. 13 constructions that could be on the Regents exam. All right, 13 that could be on there. All right, so don't waste your time with anything else. You can just go to this playlist and look up one on your own. That's why I'm not going to review them in class. What's up, Ian?
For like to show your work cards, can you only take out full points or can you take out like half points?
On the Regents exam, you only full points. So something as simple as rounding, putting a plus instead of a minus. Like I would just circle. I know I've done it on almost everyone in here during the year. I circle it and I draw an arrow to your answer. It says check again because you typed something wrong in your calculator. Everything was written correctly. That's a point. That's not a half a point anymore. So that's a full point. And there goes the 100 everyone was striving for. All right. So yes, full points only on the Regents exam. Anything else before we go? You thought I was intense before during the year. I got another level. Okay, foot on the gas every day you come here. We ready to go? Anything about the nuts and bolts before I get into the review? We're ready to roll? All right, here we go. Day one. Let's do it. Day one. All right. First topic you'll see. It's probably only going to be one question, but I want you to prep for it. They're going to take a two-dimensional object. They will give a two-dimensional object to you. Rectangle, square, triangle. And they're going to say, we're going to rotate this right now. A certain way over a certain line. We're going to rotate this. What three-dimensional object do I end up with? And when I say three-dimensional, those are the ones we just studied in surface area and volume. All right, so look at number one. I'm taking a rectangle, two-dimensional, and we're going to rotate it around side W. Side W. What three-dimensional figure do I end up with? Okay, three-dimensional. You don't have anything in front of you that you can do this with, and I can show you visually. All right, so again, you take side W, you hold on to that thing for dear life, and you just start rotating and get the shoulder warm. What three-dimensional object do I end up with? Just a little tease here. We're going to rotate a rectangle here in a second. What's that going to end up being there, huh? What's that going to end up being? All right, which 3D object do I end up with, Amy?
Cylinder.
We end up with a cylinder, yes. Everyone agreed? We're good there? If you want to see the visual here, ready? Here's pretend that's side W. I'm going to rotate around. There it is, cylinder. Okay, there's my cylinder. All right, good work. Let's do a triangle now. Let's do a triangle around a pole AD. So you guys hold on to that pole AD for dear life. Start rotating. What's that triangle going to end up becoming? Where's triangles? There it is. What's that triangle going to end up becoming? Here we go. Going. Thomas, what's it going to end up being? Cone, yes. Visual, everyone. There it is. Start rotating it around that line. We end up with a cone. Good work. Questions? Do not base number 3 on our answers on numbers 1 and 2. Oh, we haven't had this one yet. It's probably this one. No. Number 3 is a question all by itself. Do not base it based on the last 2 answers, please. We got an equilateral triangle. All right. Equilateral, all sides equal, all angles are 60 degrees. We are not rotating it around a side, though. Here's a vocabulary term. We're going to rotate it around its median, one of the 3 medians. Ooh, can we review here? Median? I know it starts at a vertex and drawn where? Vertex to where? Medians. Hey, this is why we review. Doyle? Midpoint. Medians go to midpoints. Good job. All right, so I'm going to draw this to the opposite side's midpoint, and this is what we're rotating around. So now you're holding on to the median and rotating that around. Okay, so we're rotating around the median. Doesn't matter which median. It's going to be the same figure. Everyone got that, what it is in your mind there? Again, don't base it off our answers on the last 2 problems. Then I have to cover everything. All right, what do we end up with there? Oh boy, Olivia. What do we have? Still a cone. Yeah, still a cone, guys. Still a cone, whether it's the pole or the median. All right, here's your pole now, right here, right? There's your pole. Still going to be a cone. All right. Oh, we haven't had pyramid. That's why I was saying that to you. Still going to be a cone. All right, we all good there. So we're definitely expect one of those bad boys. Oh, God, here's the meat of today. Write the equation of a line. Write the equation of the line. All right, slope's -1/3. What's the equation of a line that's perpendicular to it? All right, let's start here. Perpendicular lines. Tell me something about their slopes. 2 lines are perpendicular. Slopes. Matt? Negative reciprocal is good. Good job, Matt. And then let's go on the other side of this, which is what if they're parallel? We won't need it for this question, but we will for the next one. Parallel lines, slopes. Yeah, yes? Same slopes. Perfect. All right, good. Same slopes. All right, well, these two are perpendicular. Slope of this one is negative 1/3. I do not want the answer yet. Do not want the answer. I just want to know what should be the slope of this other line then. If they're perpendicular and the slope of the one is negative 1/3, what about the slope of the other before I answer the question? The slope of the other should be, Ian? Positive 3. So now we are going through each choice, solving for y, because I can't find the slope unless I solve for y. You can't just look at these. None of them are in y equals form, so I got to solve them for y and then figure out which one's got a slope of 3. And when you find it, which one had a slope of 3? When you find it, Josh?
Number 4.
Number 4. Are you sure about that? How do you get y by itself?
You subtract like everything.
Yep, so subtract the 3x over, right?
Yeah.
Then wouldn't the slope be negative 3?
Yeah.
Agreed? Okay. Let's keep going. Everyone good? 4's got a slope of negative 3. That's why I need it into y equals form. It's probably going to be the last one you do. Find one yet?
What?
Yeah, it is 3. I was waiting for you. Before I move on to the next one, you want one of those ultimate grades, possibly the 100. Yes, you have to be very good in geometry, obviously. But you also have to be good test takers. And I don't think you guys realize the power you have right next to you. Right? Should I be telling you this? No. Do I want you to be successful, though? Yes. Tricks on the calculator. Tricks that you can use that'll help you be successful, more confident. Your calculator will do slope for you. You type in an equation, it'll tell you what the slope of the line is automatically. How? Here you go. Go to your grapher, please. Go to grapher. Go to grapher, please. Grapher. And it's probably already in there from last period, but if you go to grapher, you type in our answer that we had, 9x minus 3y equals 27. Even if it's already in there, you better know how to type that in anyway. Okay, 9x. And what's great about the calculator is it doesn't have to be in y equals. You type it in whatever form it's in. Once that's typed in, hit enter so it's grayed in. I do not want you to graph it though. We're not concerned about the graph. We're concerned about the slope. You go over to these 3 dots. Everyone see the 3 dots to the right of the equation you just typed in. You go over those 3 dots. You hit enter. A bunch of selections come up. We're only concerned with the first selection. Give me some details about this line. Give me some details. And one of those details is the slope. All right, so it'll already give you the slope for you. Drawback though, there is a drawback to this. It will only give you the slope as a whole number or a decimal. It will never give you a fractional slope, meaning if the slope of a line is 1/3, you're going to see 0.33333 up here. So that is the one drawback. Just a heads up on that. If you're going to use this little trick I just gave you, it will only give you whole numbers and decimals. Now, if you can already know what the decimal equals as a fraction, then I guess you're good. Okay, so heads up there, everybody. Heads up. That's how you can find the slope. Go to details. All right, moving on. Let's go to 5. I'd like to do this question if it was not multiple choice. You go to the first part 2 question in a couple weeks on the exam, and this is what it is. Okay, so you don't even have choices. Just do it all out and figure out what the equation of this line is. Let's review, because this was way back in Unit 4 where, yes, I know, I liked most of you back then, and I got to know some of you, and that changed. 2 things I need to write the equation of a line. If you ask me, write the equation of the line, first thing I'm like, all right, I need 2 things. Those 2 things?
Slope.
I need the slope. And I also need y-intercept. Good, Josh, good. So I need those 2 things before we write the answer. Let's start with the slope. They give me a line it is parallel to. They give me a line it's parallel to. So whatever slope you find of negative 2x plus 3y equals negative 4, it's going to be the slope of my answer. Because parallel lines have the same slope. So first question, I'll give you a second or 2. Find the slope of this line. Find the slope of my original line. And I like seeing you guys are doing it out by hand. Some of you guys are going to the calculator and trying my trick. All right, my trick this is the drawback of my trick, is this problem exactly. I'll give you as a decimal. You guys know what that decimal is as a fraction? Great. I want to pretend this is a part 2 question, and we got to show all our work and just not rely on the multiple choices. What is the slope of this line that you are given? Random. What's the slope of this line? 1s, Will? It is 2/3. Now notice, I'm just writing down 2/3. I'm not changing it because it said parallel. So the slope of my answer is going to be 2/3. Next, y-intercept. How do I find the y-intercept if I know it goes through 1, 3? It's not 1 or 3. We use that. Remember this equation, y equals mx plus b to find the y-intercept. Out of the 4 variables I just wrote down, which one's the y-intercept? So I could keep it that variable. Which one's the y-intercept up here? Aiden? Out of these 4 variables I just wrote down, which one's the y-intercept? B. So I'm just going to leave that B, literally. And I'm going to plug in for y, m, and x. Why? That's why I have the point. Goes through a y coordinate, doesn't, of 3. M is your slope, 2/3. And x is the x coordinate it goes through, which is 1. So I'm going to solve that for b to find my y-intercept. When you have that y-intercept, let me know. There we go. Charlie, when you have that y-intercept. Thank you, 7/3. If you guys are not getting 7/3, you have to subtract, not multiply, divide. You got to subtract the 2/3 over. Okay, so part 2 question. Let's write our final answer. Y equals slope 2/3 x and your y-intercept, positive 7/3. So that's what you would leave if it was a part 2 question. It's not though, right? It is multiple choice. Notice the multiple choices are not in the same form as my answer. Okay, so what we would need to do, and I'm not going to have you guys do it because I want to save time and get to partitions, is you would need to distribute what's out in front and then move the 3 or the negative 3 over. Distribute what's out in front, move the 3 or the negative 3 over. That's how you would do it. I'm just going to let you know the answers too. Okay, so you don't have to do all that work. Can I make a quick comment though? I don't want you to become dependent on them. But how could I have used the calculator for this without even doing any of this work because it's multiple choice? What's parallel mean? 2 lines that never intersect. Can you graph this line on your calculator? Yes. Can you graph choice 1 on your calculator at the same time? Yes. If they intersect, probably not my answer. All right? Now, whoa. You type in both of those, they won't intersect the original line. So how am I going to know which one's the answer? Only one of them's going through 1, 3. And you can check that just by going with your arrow key on the calculator. Checking which one goes through 1, 3. Okay, so there's ways around it here, guys. There's ways around here, but I want to make sure you guys can do it by hand in case it's a part 2 question. All right, anything before we go partitions? All right, let's finish this off, and then you guys can start practicing. Remember this, Unit 5, partitions. All right, we got A and B. We need a point P in between that cuts it into a ratio of 2 to 3. Well, first thing. Everyone see what it says in those brackets? The use of the set of axes below is optional. Not for my students. It's always required. You get a partition question, you're graphing it. If it doesn't come with a graph, back of your Regents exam contains 2 things. Reference sheet, which you'll rip off, and scrap graph paper. So you're doing the partition question in a couple weeks. It doesn't provide a graph. Darn right, you're going to the scrap graph and graphing it yourself. And I will show you why I need it graphed at the end. All right? If I have to walk up and down the aisles and I see people doing this partition question without graphing it, 1 of 2 things are going to happen. 1, you're either going to get put in a headlock, or 2, if I'm feeling stretched out and flexible that day, you might get a roundhouse to the temple. Okay? 1 of 2 things depending on how I'm feeling. All right? And I can get this thing up pretty high. All right? So, all right, if you're doing the test and all of a sudden like 3 people in front of you, you just see head jerk back, you know what happened. They didn't use their graph. All right, so heads up there, everyone, literally. All right, how am I going to do this? Let me graph it. -6, -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and again, I'm only having you graph it for the end of the problem. And some of you already know why. 2 to 3. 2 to the left, 3 congruent parts to the right. 2 congruent pieces to the left, 3 to the right. How many equal pieces am I breaking them up into? I got to do that one more time for some of you, I know. 2 and 3 equal. So together we have, I'm not even entertaining. Yes, 5 congruent parts. So I'm going to break this up into 5 congruent parts and find that 2 to 3 point. Anybody remember we got to do this twice, don't we? We have an x coordinate and a y coordinate. We got to do it twice. Might be different numbers, but we got to do the same process twice. All right, let's focus on the x coordinates from A to B. The x coordinates only. How far apart are they? How many units? Because I got to cut that up. I got to cut that distance up. How far apart are your x coordinates here? Steve? 10 units, good. And everyone just counted my fingers and said we need to break that up into 5 congruent parts. So that's where the 5 comes in. For a distance of 2. Well, okay, ready? 1, 2. Is that my point P, or do I have to go again and again? How many times do I have to go these 2 units? Go back to the ratio. That's why that first number is so powerful. That tells you how many times you have to go. So I got to do this twice. So watch what I'm going to do in step 2. I got to take those 2 units, and I'm going to go twice. Hey, if that was a 4, I do it 4 times. If it was a 1, I'd only go once. It all depends on that first number in the ratio. This now tells me I'm going to go 4 total units from my start to find where I am on the x-axis. 4 total units from the start. Speaking of the start, what x-coordinate did I start at? Where did I start? X-coordinate of what, Olivia? -6. Be confident, Olivia. You're going to do great on this. Let's go. Be confident. -6, and I need to go 4 units from there. And it gives me an x-coordinate of -2. Hopefully. Let's keep going. Do it for the y-axis now. How far apart are your y-coordinates? Haley, how far apart are the y's? 5 units, perfect, because that is divisible by 5 still. But now, instead of going 2 units on the y-axis, I only go 1 unit. Again, how many times do I have to do this? Just go 1 and done? Do I have to go again? Again? That first number, we do not give any respect to the second one. You look at that first number only in the ratio, which is 2. So again, I'm going to go 1 unit twice for a total of 2 units from our start. Where did I start on the y-axis again? Where am I starting on the y-axis? Olivia, let's go! 4, good. 4. Oh, not 4, sorry. Did you say 4 or something else?
I said it and then I realized I was wrong.
That's where we ended on the x, right? Where'd you start on the y? Better, -5. Now I was going to say I add 2 to that. I'm not going to be in the right spot. So I should end up at -3. And this is why you take the 15 seconds to graph it. That point better be on the line segment. Better be. If not, you're not moving on to the next problem because you know you did something incorrect. Not only that, not only should this point land on there, it should also make sense with the ratio. 2 to 3. The larger number's to the right, so that's where the larger segment should be, to the right of that point. All right, so it should land on the segment and match your ratio as well. Questions there? All right, I'm not doing the next one with you. You can find that point on your own. Once you get point J, where's point J, right? We're calling it point J. Once you get point J to be 2,5, start opening up those Regents exams and finding those problems I'm suggesting down below. But point J should be 2,5, your partition point. Then open up your Regents exams and get going.